What is up, man? It's your boy Alexander Michaelides, and I'm here with
Ealef.
And welcome to episode 1 of In the Cut. From the chair to the community. Now, this is special, bro. For those of you who are listening or tuning in, this is our first ever episode. This is our first ever time with Ealef with a mic in front of him. And man, this is a real organic meeting, and this is a real organic podcast, and I'm so excited to kind of share our story, share your story, and how we met, and kind of, explain what this podcast is about, bro. So for the people at home, tell them a little bit about yourself, bro.
Yeah, so my name's Ealef. I'm a barber. Was studying, now barbering full time, and yeah, going from there.
Yeah, nice, bro.
That's it. Yeah,
Nice.
It's been a long journey. Going from studying, being quite the academic type to finding a passion in barbering. Something that I would have never thought would be something that I would pursue, but it is, and I'm so glad that I've done it.
Yeah, bro, 100%. So if you guys couldn't have worked it out, Ealef is actually my barber. I think I first came to you like December last year,
Yeah,
so 7 months
before Christmas.
So yeah, man, 7 months, and kind of how this podcast stemmed in its origin was we just had great conversations in the chat, right? We would just chop it up, just enjoy the cut, enjoy the conversation, and then I came to him, I want to say maybe like 3 weeks ago, a month ago, maybe about that. I said, hey man, let's start a podcast. So what was your thoughts when I told you let's start a potty?
It was something that I had a sort of thought in my head, even with other clients. Some people were saying like, we always deep it. Why don't you chuck a camera up here, there? We start spitting. But I was like, yeah, maybe, I don't know. But when you pitched it to me, I'm like, yeah, all right, let's do it.
And then here we are, man. A month later, we're in the cut. We're in the studio. I must say, man, it's pretty dope. A little bit about me. I'm 21. How old are you?
21.
Damn, we both 21, bro. See, I didn't even know. He just cuts my hair.
Straight up.
I'm 21 years old. I have a small youth foundation called Calm Youth, aimed at motivating and inspiring students experiencing disengagement and hardships. I actually finished studying. You were doing accounting?
I was doing commerce, yeah.
Doing commerce. I finished finance, so kind of similar realm. And man, I think we just wanted to start this to be a relatable voice for the community, for young men, for young people out there who want to start something, and the ins and outs behind it. Would you kind of agree? What do you think?
Definitely. I mean, in terms of, my role in barbering, I feel like I'm speaking to so many different people, hearing so many different voices every single day. So I feel like for me, it was something to be able to give back on this sort of platform where in the studio, I'm really speaking to one guy at a time, whereas on this sort of platform, I can share my thoughts to the whole community.
That's a good one. I feel like, yeah, you have so many valuable conversations with people in the chair. Like, damn, man, like with me, I left the cut, real resonated and inspired from kind of the conversations we had. So I think it's going to be a great experience and a great journey to kind of document that on a larger scale. For sure. You know what I mean? So on some real stuff, how are you feeling first time with the camera on and microphone and headphones? Be honest, bro. How you feeling?
I've never been so nervous for a conversation in my life, bro. Oh my days. You can't stutter, you can't do nothing, bro. I don't know, man. But nah, it'll be good. It will take a bit of practice, but we'll get there.
No, it's good, bro. I feel like, bro, like, kudos to you for being able to step outside of your comfort zone from just cutting.
For sure.
You know what I mean? And doing something like this. I feel like lately barbers are really putting themselves out there, and it's mad respect. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So in terms of barbering, bro, how long you been at it?
I started in lockdown, like a lot of other barbers out there. And then that was when I was in year 12. So it was just a bit of fun at that point. But then started studying 2021, and then 2022 is when I started taking bookings, doing it a bit more serious. And then mid 2023 last year is when I decided to defer from studying to go hard with this full time. So yeah.
Defer from studying now.
Yeah, that was
let me ask you a question, bro. What nationality are you?
Greek, bro.
You're Greek, bro. So am I, right? So I'm gonna go out on a limb and say mom and dad weren't too enthused when you deferred.
Nah, for sure. It was hard. It still is hard, but it was the choice that I wanted to make. The one that I feel is right with my my goals and my aspirations. I mean, whatever happens, happens. But I've always got that mentality of sort of, I will make it happen. So yeah, this is what I'm putting my 100% dedication to. So yeah, gotta go hard. That's it.
Gotta go hard, guys. What was the decision and what was the reason like when you said, "Nah, I'm done"? How long into your degree were you when you deferred?
I was a good way in. I would have had about a year to go.
Oh snap!
Yeah. So look, the thing with me was I was studying, and I was in high school, right? And I, what's it called? I had a goal, and my goal was to get into my course, and that was my goal all the way through high school. So in high school, I grinded out, I worked hard to get there, and then I got there in the end. And then I got to uni, and that was it. So I didn't have a goal, right? I didn't know where I wanted to go after that, right? So, having found a passion in barbering, I know that in this industry, there's, and so many other industries where you put your mind and your passion to, there is so many opportunities and so much growth. So when I saw the vision, I thought, I got to keep going. Yeah. And that was that.
Damn, 2 years into your degree and deferring is a bold statement, but I like it, bro. I feel like that kind of summarizes you as a person. If you do anything, you're going wholeheartedly, bro. You're going 2 feet in. Now, how long has it taken for your parents to kind of come around? Or have they come around, or?
They understand the passion, and they see where I'm going. They see where I'm going with it, and they know that it's got a lot of opportunity. Anything that you put your mind to, and they know that I've got a big passion for this. So yeah, there's a lot of growth, a lot of opportunity with this, and they appreciate that. But obviously, yeah, it's still.
I see the smirk. It's still tricky now. In terms of you saying
cooking.
You have a passion for this, where did it stem from? You just wake up one day and go, oh, like cutting hair, or how does it work?
Bro, like I can't even lie. Like when I started in lockdown, it was like really, really sort of spontaneous, right? Like I was just cutting up my brother and one or two of the boys, and then I guess from there it just sort of stemmed. You cut this person, you cut that person, cut the next person, and then all of a sudden you're getting better, and you're watching YouTube videos, and you're watching this, you're watching that, you're seeing other barbers, and you're like this is real good. So yeah, I guess, and then you start taking it to the social media space, and then it does get to the point of, okay, we got to go hard now. We're putting ourselves out there. We wanna make ourselves. We wanna present our best work that we can, and then that's when you keep trying to be better than you were yesterday. You want your cut better to be better than the last one, and all that sort of stuff. And aside from that, another really, really important thing, as we touched on earlier, is being able to communicate and converse with so many different people. As I said, we always deeper, with different, with AJ, but also with different people as well. You know what I mean? We get to, I get to learn about, all different walks of life. And it's made me such a more sort of open-minded person, doing this sort of job as well. So yeah,
100%. I feel like, and this is something we've spoken about a lot off camera, is like the differentiation between a service and a person, right? Like you're not just a service provider. Like there's a man behind the clippers, behind the scissors, who's like delivering that. You know what I mean? I feel like it'd be such a great insight because, damn, bro, your clientele stems from like what, 14-year-olds to like older people. Yeah,
it's diverse for sure. Yeah, it is. And I think that goes to, it goes to show that I guess in a customer facing role, you've got to be able to sort of, alter your sort of perspective and dynamic towards, a different sort of community. And also just because, as I've been sort of being a barber and learning about sort of speaking to others, you get to enjoy that sort of stuff. You get to hear about different people, and then you get to embrace yourself into their communities as well. So yeah, it's quite good like that for sure.
What do you think is the most difficult part of like having someone in your chair who doesn't talk?
Yeah.
Is that tough for you? Because you like to obviously, because you'll be cutting and I'll come in and you start, hey, what's up, man? And then before you know it, all three of us are talking.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? You have a really good skill to do that. So what's it like when someone's a little bit hesitant or quiet?
You got to read the room.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got to read the room. Like if they're the sort of client that's, real chirpy, real talkative, then you sort of, you let it roll. You know what I mean? Like it's just a conversation, but if it's like pulling teeth, trying to get some words out, it can be a bit tough, but sometimes, I always say, you're here because you want to be here. You know what I mean? If they don't want to say nothing, they don't have to say nothing.
Yep. That's fair.
But yeah, I'll always try and incite a little bit of conversation. But if that's not for them, then it's not for them. And, I'll throw in a little bit here and there. But you know, if I'm getting getting the vibe, they don't want to, you know.
Would you say that naturally you were just always a good converser, or this was a skill you had to kind of learn whilst cutting?
Yeah, nah, man.
Really?
I never had like the people skills, you know, and I'm still learning them. You know, I've still got a long way to go. But yeah, I think it's been a work in progress for sure.
Do you think it was like harder to get better at cutting, or harder to get better at like the people skills? Because like the more you cut, kind of the better you get, right? But like the more you speak doesn't necessarily mean the better you get at it.
For sure. I hear where you're coming from.
What do you think?
In terms of the barbering, you'd instinctively think, yeah, the more you cut, the better you get. But I can tell you now, like from experience, I feel like that is partially right, but mostly wrong. Because
Why?
Because I feel like if you're not doing the right techniques and the right sort of skills and that sort of stuff to get to the goal, then you're not gonna progress. You're just gonna stay in the same spot doing the same shit that you were doing yesterday.
Oof.
So that's one thing that I find is super important, right? Just learning the right skills and stuff like that. For the first 2 years of my barbering, I was doing the same old crappy haircuts because I was just having fun, you know? Don't get me wrong, we got to be having fun, but just not, you know, not really trying to learn.
Yeah.
But then as you sort of, you know, learn the right skills, then yeah, you get better. But then, yeah, I think in terms of the talking and stuff like that, for me at least, it was something that sort of came with speaking to lots of different people. Because instead of me trying to become better at talking, by me taking on information and learning about different sorts of people and learning what they have to say, then that sort of grew my perspective as a person and grew my sort of knowledge to be able to talk to them. So I think a lot of it had to do with hearing what they have to say and feeding back off that.
How long do you think it took for you to get comfortable doing that? Because that's not an easy thing to do.
Nah, definitely not. And it's, as I said, it's still a work in progress. It's still going. But I think, you know, as you start to do it more and more often, you know, not necessarily like, you know, just spacing it out, but, you know, doing it regularly, doing it more often, getting lots of practice in, it shouldn't take too long.
Well, damn, man, I feel like kudos to you, because fast forward, what's it been like 3 years since we started cutting?
Yeah, three and a half.
Yeah, 3 years now. You're the podcast. You know, you speaking to, you know, however many people view this or whatnot. So that's a big change from just
for sure
having, you know, kind of one person in your chair who you're just talking to at one time. So damn, man, kudos to you. That's crazy that it's been.
And I appreciate you for the opportunity, bro. Like, this is huge, man. Like,
it's gonna be fun. That's another thing. Like, I always think of things like this as like, I don't care who watches it or who views it. For me, it's like a personal journal. Like on some real shit, like my kids are going to be able to like internet's forever, you know? Yeah. My kids are going to be able to watch this or listen to this and be like, oh, look what my dad was doing at 21. I'll be like, yeah, pick up your game, son. What are you doing? Yes. What are you doing at 21? You got to be locked in too. Definitely. So nah, man, this is just like organic haps. And another thing, like in terms of us, like a lot of similarities. Obviously, we're both from the northern suburbs. Both Greek, but also like both similar uni courses, but also just like the business element. And we didn't realize this until we started talking more and more, but like, although our businesses are very different, they're kind of similar.
For sure.
Would you agree?
Definitely. I think, you know, as you know, while I'm speaking to sort of customers and stuff like that, meeting about different people, I think, you know, something that you definitely got to be good at, and you are good at, is, you know, speaking with, you know, the younger community for sure, and being able to be a voice for them. Yeah. Is that right?
100%, bro. It's, it's a real rewarding feeling to be a voice and to be a person of influence. And, you kind of know what it would be like having like young guys in your chair and they think you're, you know, the dopest person ever. But yeah, I'm real fortunate to be able to do that kind of every day. And I think we're both at a point in our professional sense or business careers, whatever you want to call it, where like expansion starting, like, bro, I can't get a cut with this guy. Like, I gotta book like 2-3 weeks in advance, bro. It's not like your regular the mill. Oh yeah, I got an appointment tomorrow, bro. This guy, he'll put on his story or cancellation. I go to reply, it's already gone.
it's starting to get busy.
How are you dealing with like the busyness and hecticness, given that you started cutting your brother and your close friends during COVID, bro?
I think, you know, now that I've sort of gone full time with it and taken it 100%. It's something that, I feel like it'd be a waste of my time to not devote all my passion to. And don't get me wrong, we need balance and stuff like that. But I feel like, if you want to pursue something, if you want to really, really sort of have a crack at it, then you got to put a lot of time into it. So yeah, balance is huge because we need to, separate, work from the rest of our life. But I feel like, when we're locked in and when we're doing what we're doing, then we should really give 100% to it. And that can be, in every sort of facet.
Considering now that you're always booked out, what was it like when it was if you remember, because it probably would have been a while ago, your first week of being like booked out, how did that feel?
Yeah, it was dope. It was crazy. I think, when you start to see stuff like that, that's when you start to, you get a light bulb, you get a spark. You're like, oh, wow, like, this is quite cool. This is really, really sort of optimistic. I can see growth from this. So, yeah, I think stuff like that, when you have wins and when you have, sort of, positives and stuff, it's something to look forward to, and something to grow from. And, conversely, when we have losses, they're more like lessons, when we have something like that, that's something that we want to learn from, and be able to grow from that and, take a maybe step to the side and then veer back on track. So yeah.
Every loss is a lesson, bro. Sure. I think that's a big thing. And I think in both of our respective businesses, there's a lot of losses, bro. Definitely. A lot. What's been one of the biggest losses you had? It could be anything, bro.
There's a lot, man. I mean, there's always ups and downs. I will say though the positives, at least for me, because I have a passion for it, far outweigh the negatives. I feel like, and that's with anything. If you have a passion for something, then you're really gonna be able to succeed in what you do. I always think there's no point doing something you don't enjoy. All right, life's all about sacrifice and stuff like that. But in the long game and stuff like that, we only have one life. You don't want to be wasting your time doing something that someone else wants you to do, or something that guy's doing, so you want to do it too. Nah, it's something that you want to do, something that's true to your heart. You know what I mean? But I don't know. In terms of a loss, I think something that kind of regularly happens is a no-show, right?
Yeah.
And it's something that it's tough, because like. It happens, we're all human, and
100%.
like, sometimes people, miss their bookings, or they, they're finished late from work, they're falling asleep or something like that, or they're just forgotten about it, and it happens. But, it's I think, a barber-client relationship, it's two-way, you know what I mean? So I feel like, we show up on time for our clients, they got to show up on time for us and show up. So yeah,
I feel you.
Yeah.
But before we keep going on that, I just want to jump back to something you said about following your passion, and I think that's the root of why we're able to make this podcast happen. Because like what I preach and kind of the program we deliver at schools is called Inspiring Purpose Through Passion, and I feel like we're both two young people who were driven and rooted in following our passion, that we just have an urge to kind of make people do the same.
Definitely.
And I feel like that's the main reason and the main root of why we're able to sit down and talk about our journeys. Would you kind of agree?
100%. I think it's so important to follow something that you love to do. And yeah, by me and AJ being here to be able to be that voice to sort of encourage you guys to get on that track to do what you want is super important, because nothing happens overnight. No way it doesn't. I was actually having a look at some of my old haircuts like a few days ago. And,
whack.
Oh,
but you're gonna get through, bro. You're gonna get to the whack to get to the good.
Definitely.
You know what I mean?
Of course.
And I feel like reflecting even further, like passions change, and that's what people need to realize. And like, you're not gonna be 10 years old. Maybe some people will be like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna be a barber or this or that. What do you think your passion was as a 15-year-old kid? At 15-year-old kid. What school did you go to?
I went to Marcelin.
15-year-old kid in the Marcelin. Tell me.
Yeah, look, man, it was. I think it was the same as any other 15-year-old kid at Marcelin, bro. It was just
just play soccer,
or like then start to go out and party and stuff like that. When you get a bit older, there was no real drive, real goal. I'll be honest. I just, I think, sometimes, we can feel like we're a little bit sort of sort of not sheltered, but like hidden from what we really want to achieve. And sometimes it takes, it takes that sort of independence, maybe leaving high school, like finishing high school, or even just sort of having that opportunity to be able to see what you really want to do, to be able to know what you want to do. Yeah. How about yourself?
Myself, a 15-year-old,
Yeah.
little age at William Reuben.
Yeah,
it was basketball, bro. It was like,
for sure.
Bro, I'm like, on a good day, bro, I'm like 5'7", so I'm below average height, bro, right? So like,
maybe an inch taller than me, bro.
I'll take that, right? So, back in the day, bro, I want to go D1, I want to play here, I want to play there. And then fortunately, like reality sets in. And then one day it's like, bro, like, no, like I don't, that's not going to happen. No matter like, just being realistic, this isn't what I'm going to be able to do. But I was fortunate enough through basketball, I coached at a very young age. Shout out all my former coaches who kind of gave me the tools to do it. And I'm like, man, I prefer coaching than playing way more because I feel like it had a more direct impact in the game. And then I'm like, damn, I really enjoy this speaking stuff, motivational stuff. You know what I mean? So it kind of led into another thing.
So would you say that coaching was sort of a big sort of pivotal moment in your life to be able to sort of incite that new program that you've started up, Calm?
Yeah, oh, bro. 1,000%. Like, coaching gave me the tools to be able to learn how to talk to kids who are under 8s, who are all the way up to under 16s, right? Coaching taught me how to have difficult conversations, taught me how to be confident. It just gave me all the tools necessary to be able to converse with kids. And I feel like the biggest thing and why our program is so different is like we're relatable. Like, we'll go into schools and these kids talking about freaking, like skibbity, like all like stupid.
Oh my days.
Like little memes and stuff, but like we can do it back. So like, like you're cool. Like they get us. You know what I mean? Like we've been in class being like, slay girl, like stuff like that. And then like, how do you know that is different, bro? Like we break down that typical hierarchical nature of a classroom because we're just young people who see a little bit of ourselves in these young people the same way we want them to see themselves in us. Yeah. So going back to what you said, coaching definitely allowed me to be able to connect with the youth. And shout out my partners, Carla Moose and Michael Fortune. Grew up high school with Carlo, who I started it with, and then Mike was my former coach. True. So he used to coach me playing basketball. So all of it stemmed from there. But yeah, man, like fast forward 7 years later, I don't really play no more, but the origins of what basketball taught me has allowed me to kind of, follow my passion now. Yeah. So I think it's really important for young people now, like, if you don't know what you want to do, that's cool. That's so cool. Like, how many people really do? You know what I mean? I feel like we're would you say we're a rare breed in terms of, like, knowing exactly what we want right now? Because I still feel like we're pretty young. Some people are still, like, in their degree and going, I don't know if I like this.
I think society tells people that we should know what we want to do right now. And that's terrible. There's some stat. I read some stat that was it was like our like grandparents' generation had like 1 or 2 jobs, and then our parents' generation had like 5 to 7, and then ours is something like 20, like something ridiculous, And I believe it, you know what I mean? Like, it makes total sense, we're so quick to jump from this to this to this because we think this is going to make us money, or this is going to make us happy, or this is going to do this, or this is going to do that.
Bro, you're spitting facts.
Yeah. So
you're spitting facts. People chase the bag, and they chase what they think something can give you, rather than that's because that's what they want to do.
Definitely.
Bro, how many young people in your chair say, I want a barber because I want to make money?
90% of them. 90% of the ones that want to do barbering say that. And I always turn around to them and I say, look, anything that you have a passion for, anything that you enjoy, you will succeed at and you will make money in. It doesn't have to do with barbering, just barbering. Just because your mate's doing barbering doesn't mean that you got to do barbering as well. Okay, you might love it, go hard, but it's not for everyone. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think it's important, as we've said and as we've touched on a lot, is to find the passion, to find something that you enjoy. And, it's as simple as sort of, exploring different avenues, different sort of aspects of life, different areas, saying, I like this, do I like this, do I like this? And, when you find something that you can find value in, then take advantage of that, make use of that. And then, if you find that, you see a dead end in that road, that's okay. Look to another aspect, look to that one. And then if you see that one, you say, oh yeah, I really enjoy that. Then pursue that. If that doesn't work, go to the next one, but you will find something that you enjoy.
Man, you spitting fast there, my boy. Absolutely. And I feel like it just also comes from not being afraid to try new things and not being afraid to just be yourself. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people are quick to criticize and quick to judge because they're not comfortable in their own skin. So they love to like hate on someone else because it's easier for them. You know what I mean? Like, for me personally, when I started Calm, like, I was under 16s, and a lot of my teammates, bro, they used to like bag me all the time.
Yeah, for
They
sure.
all used to, because they're like, bro, well, it was Calm, this is that, like kind of give me stick about it. But like, I didn't care because I'm like, this is what I want to do. This is what I'm trying to embrace. What my mission is.
What pushed you through that?
I think that's a great question, bro. I think what pushed me through it was just the sheer just will to like, I want to do this. Like, I know I want to do this, so I don't care what anyone else says.
What made you want to do it?
It's a great question. I feel like what made me really want to do it was after we spoke at one of our first schools, and the kid came up to Mike and said, you know, you changed the way I look at life, and you like, I needed to hear that today. Wow. Yeah, I was like, damn. For me, it was able to be kind of the role model that I never really had. Like, I come from a single parent household, just me and my mom. Love my mom to bits. I had a lot of strong male influences in my life, like my coaches, Torres, Fortune. And I really just wanted to be that for other kids. I feel like I just could. I don't know, bro. I was always like the kid in primary school who people would talk to about like their problems or like, you know, I just enjoy.
Everyone loves that guy.
Yeah, everyone loves that guy.
That's good.
I was just kind of, yeah, bro, growing up, just used to conversing and sharing motivation and inspiration, I guess. And yeah, bro, here I am today. So it comes full circle. But again, it just comes from working out what you want to do and not being afraid to do it.
For sure.
You know what I mean? And whoever's listening out there, don't be afraid to start that thing, or don't be afraid to make those TikTok videos if that's what you want to do. Like, don't be afraid to start a podcast with your boy. Like, nothing bad comes out of this. Bro, the worst case out of all this, no one watches our stuff. That's it. But who cares?
Straight up. I've had a good, you know, deep, meaningful conversation. Like, straight up. That's, you know, even if it's, you know, if it's not helping someone else, at least it's helping me and it's helping AJ. But I'm sure it's definitely gonna get value for others.
100%. But exactly right, bro. Like, people need to realize, what's the actual worst of like doing this for you, bro? What was your mindset being like? What's the worst thing of barbering? No one books. Like,
yeah. Straight that, yeah, pretty
that's
much.
it.
Yeah.
And if that happened, then we'll worry about it then. But you can control how many people book based on, you know, your quality of your haircuts, you know, how much time you're putting into your craft, marketing, all things like that. So like, it's controllable.
For sure, putting that work in, 100%. I think there's such a high correlation between, you know, quote unquote putting that work in and then, you know, getting the results. If I'm not, you know, posting on social media, you know, if my haircuts weren't gonna be, you know, weren't hitting like they used to be, then, you know, it's not gonna correlate. I'm not gonna get, you know, the clients. I'm not gonna, you know, capitalize on that. So it's all about, putting the work in and getting the results.
That's what I'm saying, bro. But sometimes you have to wait. Sometimes you can put the work in and it not come to fruition.
Definitely. It definitely, you know, there are sort of roadblocks and there are, you know, things that we got to sort of, you know, work around sometimes to get to where we want to be. But I guess as long as we've still got that main goal in mind at the end and we know that that's what we want to achieve, then we will get there. So, it's something that we got to sort of keep our eyes on the prize and just sort of, you know, have our vision clear that we want to get there.
Sure. 100%. And having that vision. And in terms of where you saw yourself, you know, 3 years ago, is this it? Do you reckon you fulfilled where you saw Ealef 3 years ago?
Nah, man. No way. There's, you know, we only have one life, you know what I'm saying? And there's so much more that needs to be done, you know what I mean? And that's with everything, you know? That's with like, you know, with, you know, career-wise, family, you know, relationships, God, everything like that. You know, there's so much more that needs to be done before the finish line, you know what I mean? So, this is only the beginning, sure. And I'm sure you can agree with me on that, you know?
100%, man. You only, like you say, you only get one life, got to make the most of it. You know what I mean? I don't want to go with any regrets, being like, I should have done this, or I could have done more. If I did a little, nah, man, no regrets. I feel like that's the biggest thing. And you know, outside of work and business and stuff, what are kind of the most important pillars in your life, would you say?
Yeah, so, family, relationships, God. the gym when
Nah, that's part of it.
when I can lock in. But,
nah, bro, you locked in. You can tell you stuck in your shit.
Cool, yeah. Yeah, they'd be the most important things for sure. And as I said, you know, they're not perfect. You know what I'm saying? We got to work towards, you know, building on that and getting it, you know, as good as we can get it. And I think, you know, the fact that, you know, we only have sort of one life means that we got to sort of cherish everything. You know what I mean? We're so quick to take stuff for granted these days. Sometimes, you know, one facet of life might sort of overtake everything else, but I think there needs to be a balance. And I think that we got to sort of, just cherish everything and make the most of everything, because, you know, today, you know, you got everything, but tomorrow you might not. So
things go quick, bro. So how do you balance all those other different pillars in your life and this? Because you cut 5 days a week for like hours, and sometimes 6 if you do like out of hours cuts. Is that right?
Yeah. They're big days. They're big days, but I think I try to, because, you know, working for yourself and stuff like that, it can be a 24-hour.
Oh,
thing,
bro, for
right?
sure, you're doing everything.
It's, you know, in terms of booking people, or, you know, this guy wants to cancel that social media, you know, videos, this and that. So there's a lot to it, but I think, you know, especially on the off days, you know, making the most of the time, you know, with family and stuff like that. Routine is huge. You know, with you know, going to the gym, you know, doing all that sort of stuff, praying, all that sort of stuff, super important. So routine is huge for sure.
Outside of like talking about those pillars outside of work, what's been one thing that you think has contributed to your success? It could be like you say routine, it could be, you know, a habit you have, it could be a mindset thing. What's one thing that you're like, this is part of the reason why I'm seeing success at a young age?
It's a good question, bro. Probably one thing. I think, you know, I will put sort of God as first. You know, just being able to sort of look to God, you know, in times of positive times, but also in negative times, and sort of, being able to sort of credit everything to God. That's, you know, I think, you know, all success sort of, you know, stems from, you know, having faith and stuff like that in what you do. But then, apart from that, I think it's sort of skills and discipline, you know, that routine sort of thing. So the skills, I'd say, you know, that you know, I've learned, you know, through, you know, in high school, studying and stuff like that, or, you know, with, you know, as we were talking about, you know, I was playing soccer, you know, the you know, the grind and stuff like that, wanting to, you know, become Ronaldo.
Yeah, straight out.
Those things for sure.
100%. Sport teaches you a lot in terms of discipline, and just dedicating yourself to a craft. And I feel like it's similar. You know, you train soccer and you work out, you get better at it. Same with cutting. Same with anything.
Definitely.
So, yeah.
And I think, you know, even going back to, you know, those sort of, you know, what was the pivotal sort of thing, there are lots, you know what I mean? You know, all those sort of, you know, facets, you know, family, you know, relationships, all of that, they all play a sort of integral role in each of their own ways. And that's why I talk about, you know, balance being important, because we got to sort of, you know, divide a sort of equal amount of time and as much time as we can to all of those things. So, yeah, and what about yourself?
Outside of what I've been doing, I would say my mindset. My mindset in terms of just not getting too high on my highs and not too low on my lows. Just being an optimistic realist and just being right in the middle and just being able to see things for what it was. But again, that comes from tough coaching. Growing up playing basketball, like, you know, my coaches yell at me, I wouldn't cry. Like, I'm like, yes, coach, I got you. So I was being able to deal with hard situations. Thick skin. The same thing, you know, comes with my mom. She was like a drill sergeant growing up. She was tough in me, bro. You could probably have something similar. Like, my mom was so tough. I'm talking about, like, if I made the bed and it had like a little crinkle in it, bro, I swear down, she would like freaking rip my sheets off and say, do it again.
Make it again.
Yeah, bro. I'm like, you're so OD for that. But I'm fortunate that my mom was able to do that, because it gave me thick skin to deal with, you know, a lot of different things in life, to deal with losses in business, to deal with difficult times, situations, things like that. So I owe a lot to my kind of upbringing for allowing me to get this mindset. You know what I mean? And also, I feel like a big thing is having support around you, right? And your support comes from, your family, your friends. Same with me. Who do you think's been kind of the biggest supporter or supporters in what you're doing?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, definitely, it'd be my parents for sure. Yeah. I mean, like, it's as I was saying that I've left uni or deferred from uni to pursue this. You're not going back, bro. Stop.
He's done.
Well, I've like it was a tough decision. It was definitely something that I chose to do for sure. But I guess if my parents didn't support me, they would have kicked me out the house. And it was like the fact that they didn't do that. The fact that they let it happen was something that shows that they saw the vision as well, and they sort of valued what I valued. You know what I mean? And they valued what mattered to me.
100%.
Because I think that's important these days. You know what I mean? Like, we want to be there for everyone and stuff like that, and sometimes we got to work in our own best interests. You know what I'm saying? And we got to put ourselves first. In the right respect, we always, when it comes to the people that matter to you, you want to give it 100%, 110% to them. But, sometimes, you know what works for you and you know what doesn't. If you're not comfortable doing this or doing that, then you got to put yourself first. So, yeah. I think they were definitely, big supporters. Even, with soccer and, taking me to soccer. And
it's a lot, man. You don't realize as you get older the amount of effort that parents have. And I feel like even though they wanted you, probably still want you to finish your degree, the fact that they're still able to embrace you and support you says a lot about them as parents and says a lot about the relationship you have with them, bro. So kudos to you for being able to make that grown man decision and deferring. And, shout out to your parents for still allowing you to cut and still allow you to grow your passion. I do feel like, though, them probably seeing so many people getting out in the shop is like, all right, he's doing well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they appreciate it and they respect, what I'm doing. I'm not, I think I'm making a positive change and stuff like that. So I think they can understand that and they can appreciate that. But it's something that, it's not, not the be all and end all as we were talking about before. It's something that, I love doing right now, and it's something that I'm gonna go hard with, and I'm gonna, find, ways to grow from this, and
exactly, like talking about passions and how they can evolve. Like, you can only be cutting hair for so long. You can only be cutting hair for so long before you're like,
yeah, it's true.
You know what I mean? So it's about how can you evolve? How can you hit the next step? Definitely. You know what I mean? Is it, in the business sense, are you expanding in that way? Like, there's so many different things. I see, you started mentoring and things like that, which is a great tool and we'll definitely touch on in many episodes to come. But there's so many more to build on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So what do you think, in 5-10 years, what do you think? What's Ealef doing? What do you think?
Who knows, man? It's a long while away. I think, to give you, a definite sort of answer, I wouldn't be able to. Yeah. But I think the most important thing is to do better than I was doing yesterday, to do better than I was doing last week and last year. That's the most important thing. As long as you keep moving forward, then that's all that matters. So I can tell you that in 10 years' time, I'm not going to be in the same position as I am now.
That's it, bro. As long as you keep moving forward,
of course,
nothing else matters, bro. And like day by day, step by step, and that's what you've been doing, and that's why you are where you are today as a young, successful business owner, podcaster.
Definitely,
all of it.
How about you? 5-10 years from now, you right now, you're situated real well. You're helping the world. You're motivating others. You're doing all that. What about in 5-10 years?
5-10 years, man. I see myself kind of being able to really do this more than full time. This is my life.
Yeah, wow.
For sure, in every sense. I want to expand on what we're doing. For me, I think it's just more. Just more speeches, more schools, just more everything, more impact, more motivation, just more of it. Like, I'm hungry for more. You feel me? Like, I want it to be immersed in my life. And moving down the line, I've spoken about this with other people. I want like a big youth center and things like that, bro. So over time.
Crazy.
Yeah, bro. Over time, all that's to happen. But again, you got to see it, Once you see it, then you can make it a reality. But if you don't see it, then you can't really get there.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? So yeah, man, I feel like we both got a lot of hunger, a lot of drive, a lot of motivation, and it's going to be exciting. I feel like over the next weeks, months, you know, however long we be doing this, which hopefully is a while, because it's pretty fun to just see the growth, to see the journey, and to see kind of where we end up. So what are you looking forward to most with this podcast?
I think you know, as we said at the start, really just being that sort of voice, like, for others and stuff like that. You know, I think there's more to, you know, definitely more to what I do, and there's obviously definitely more to what AJ does as well. You know, we want to sort of, you know, be that platform, you know, to sort of, you know, help and sort of encourage others to, you know, whether it be to, you know, pursue your passion, you know, whether it be, you know, we're talking about, you know, maybe might be barbers in general out there watching this, or, you know, people who want to hear some, you know, knowledge from AJ, you know, some sort of motivation, whatever it is, you know what I mean? So yeah, I think being that voice for people out there, sure.
100%, man. 100%. I feel like it's going to be exciting to build a community, to share our journey, see where we end up, watch it. You know, hopefully have a few people on here. We'll make it work, bro. I don't want you to have to get another chair, but we'll
make it happen.
Yeah, we'll make it happen, man, and just to document the experience. So, man, episode 1 in the cut from chair to the community.
That's it.
It's me, boy Alexander Michaelides
and Ealef.
and Ealef.
Ealef cuts.
Ealef cuts, baby. Yes, sir.
Let's go.